So why should we plan content? This is for a month ahead. Obviously, we're coming into January. Obviously, it eliminates stress, allows flexibility, promotes consistency. And we all know that consistency is the name of the game, right? You don't have to plan a whole month ahead if you're just planning a week ahead, whatever. I'm just going to show you what I got here. Okay, so a niche. I know people don't like that word. I don't particularly like that word, but what you do need to do is figure out your ideal followers. Who are you trying to serve? How are you serving them? What does your ideal follower struggle with? How can you help them solve their problems? Okay, so that's what you need to figure out first. If you, excuse me, you have a piece of paper and you want to go along with the presentation, that's fine. If not, just take some notes for later. It's really, I found that most of the time your ideal follower is you. So think about the things that you struggle with. Think about how you can solve those problems with our product. Just how you can serve someone like yourself. All right. Oh, there it goes again. Who are you serving? What kind of person it is? And hold on, my son's coming in on a video that I'm recording. What, Miles? Oh, okay. Okay, great. Thanks. Good thing I found that out. That was important information that the Lego tire was found. Okay. Again, how you can help them solve their problems. Okay, then you're going to take that niche, take that person, and you're going to divide, you're going to find pillars. You want 3 to 5 categories that you will consistently discuss. So obviously makeup's going to be one of your pillars. Another pillar should always be about you. And then you can pick, whatever, 2, 3 more pillars of things that you want to do. Let's see. So for example, they have some here, health, money, family, mental health, fashion, makeup, DIY crafts, social selling tips, hair care, travel, faith, mindset, lifestyle, food, just whatever you're into. You just write those pillars down. If you get 7 of them, I don't care, write them down. Write as many down as you can think of, like right now, and then you can dwindle it down later. Sometimes what I found out was that when I wrote my pillars down, I had like 7 of them actually. And what I realized was that 2 of them really could be combined into one pillar. And then another 2 can really be combined into one pillar. There was some things I thought like a blended family would be a pillar for me, but really I can throw that into the about me pillar. So, but it really, really, really helps if you write it down. So write them down and then you can condense them later. So your pillars will turn into your topics, which will then turn into your content. Okay. And then your content is obviously videos, lives, reels, carousels, posts, even stories, and making highlight bubbles on your Instagram from your stories. That is something that's really helpful to be able to show people later. All right, this is a really cool analogy, I thought. Think of your pillars as legs of a stool. They're the foundation of your brand. Creating content pillars will drive the growth of your business. People buy from who they know, who they like, who they trust. And again, one of your pillars should be about me. So to find some of those pillars, what are some topics that you're passionate about? What's a topic that you enjoy talking about? What's something your ideal follower wants to know about? Again, all great ways to find those pillars. So you'll write those down, and that kind of gives you categories. Okay. So let's let's see. So I have my personal pillars. I have about me. I have belief in myself. I have self-care plans, and then I have makeup. Okay. So I've written all those down, and then I want to put them in these little bubbles. Okay. So let's say one of my pillars is skincare. It can branch off into all of these other things. So you write skincare down, you think, well, what can I talk about with skincare? Well, I can talk about large pores. I can talk about aging skin over 40. I can talk about adult acne, dry skin, SPF, rosacea, unwanted hair, wrinkles, sensitive skin, brightening. I mean, the list can go on and on. You can branch these out even further and create more topics, you know? This is just a really good way to get all those content ideas flowing. And I'm telling you right now, I cannot stress it enough that you do not keep this in your head. I don't care if you type it out on your laptop, or I don't even suggest typing it on your phone, because if you don't write it down, you're not going to remember this stuff later. You need to have a full-on brain dump. And I will share I have blanks of these that I will share in the again, Team Let's Glow. Let me see if this chat, will you be sharing these slides? Will you be sharing these slides in the group? Yes, I'm going to be sharing, maybe not the slides, but I will share all of my templates with the group so that you can print them off, or you can edit it the way that you want to. Okay, so here again, let's say my pillar is about me. So you type about, or you put about me in the middle, and then I'm going to say, I have biracial kids. Then I'm going to come up here and say, I love pottery. I'm going to come up here and say, mom at 40. I had a baby at 40, blended family. I don't know, just whatever. You can just keep on filling those bubbles in. Okay. And then after you do your pillars, I'm going kind of fast. And like I said, if you have any questions, just let me know. I'm trying to check the chat out too. So you have all your pillars written down, you have your sheets, and you're going to go to your monthly calendar. The first thing that you want to write down, this is where the content creation comes in for the entire month. Non-negotiables. You want to write down all those non-negotiables. And what that means is, do you have company things, like maybe Seint's not your full-time job. So maybe you have a business trip that you're going on. You want to put those on those days. Okay. They're things that are absolutely non-negotiable. Your son has a birthday party on the 6th. It's non-negotiable. We're having the party. My mother-in-law is going to be here on the 25th, and I'm not going to be able to do anything because I'm going to have to cater to her. So that's a non-negotiable. Okay. The 17th is the artist's birthday. Those are the things that are non-negotiable. So you can go to nationaldaycalendar.com, and you can pick out any national days that are important to you and important to your brand or your niche. If you find a day that is, I don't know, an adoptive holiday, and you were adopted, or being an adoptive parent is important to you for whatever reason, you can mark that day off as a non-negotiable, because what that means is that you already have content for that day. So you want partnerships, collaborations, that's work, that's Seint, special occasions, the national holidays, and your pillars and your topics is what's going to come last. So I've already went in here and I made up a bunch of stuff and put it in here because I'm not really going on vacation. Boo-hoo. But we got New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. Those are non-negotiables. Those are holidays, right? Let's say that every Wednesday I go live. That is a non-negotiable. That is on my calendar as a non-negotiable. The artist's birthday is a non-negotiable. So I put that in on that day. And so guess what? Just by doing that, I've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days of content right there. I already know I'm going live on those days. So that's content, and that can be about whatever you want. The artist's birthday is content because you're going to be posting about signing up as an artist, right? Those vacation days, that's content because you're going to be talking about your vacation. You're going to be asking people in your stories about vacations. You're going to be making reels about your vacation time afterwards. You know, that's all content. So then you go in and you add your pillars. So now you just have to go in the rest of the days and fill it in with your pillars. So here, let's say every Sunday I want to post a makeup reel. Okay, you can just start typing that in there. You want to go along with the artist's birthday. So let's say you're going to talk here about your vacation and how being an artist lets you take off these days and go on vacation. That's just leading up to the artist's birthday. You know, that's just content. So, you guys, that's really all there is to it. And I said I wanted to make that fast, and I pretty much did make it fast. So, do you guys have any questions for me? I'd like to know. Does any of that make sense? Is that helpful at all? Anybody have questions about the pillars? Because sometimes that gets confusing, but I feel like the niche part is really confusing. And, but when you break it down into those pillars, you can forget about that word niche and just automatically, just talk about what you're passionate about. You know, I was getting kind of mixed up in it too. And I feel like that helped me out a ton. I'm going to put all of those documents in Team Let's Glow. And I did not create those. Catherine Starnes is a artist, and she is super awesome and let me borrow those. So I will post them. I struggle to make everything cohesive, and planning ahead lets me look a few days ahead and be able to plan things that will lead into the next day or event. Yes. And even if you can do a week, I mean, it'll take you literally, I would say 20 minutes to sit down and do that calendar that I just showed you. And you don't have to have any specifics. Okay. So even if you just put makeup, then you go back into it later and you say, oh, makeup, I'm gonna put my makeup on today. So I'm gonna take pictures in between of all my steps. I'm gonna do a transition reel maybe, and I'm going to post a sped up video. Okay, so out of all those, you're gonna get like 4. You can have a carousel for that. You can use that for 4 different days that you have makeup written down, you know. And when you do your makeup and your pillar and you write down, like I have mature, fast, compact, minimal, hooded eyes, eyeshadow looks, multiple use products, you know, stick in one of those. Just go grab that sheet and be like, hooded eyes. Okay, I'm gonna make a hooded eyeshadow video, and I'm going to turn it into a carousel. I'm going to turn it into a sped up video. I mean, it's just, it's not as hard as we make it out to be. Let me put it that way. I was making it out to be really difficult, and these sheets have helped me a lot. So, anyway, I'm glad to, like I said, I haven't, implemented most of this. I got a calendar for my wall, and I'm using some sticky notes, and I'm putting stuff on there. So, I don't know. Good. I'm glad. Okay. Well, if nobody else has any questions, I'm going to go ahead and cut off of here, and I will post the replay in Team Let's Glow, and I'll post those sheets. And if your teamies haven't watched it or they didn't hop on, just tag them on the replay. Okay. So thanks for hearing me out. And I really do hope that it's super helpful. And message me or tag me if you have any questions. I'll be happy to help you out and answer them. You're welcome. Have a great evening, guys.